This is your Raceway Recap for June 15th, and a packed house filled the Land of Legends on Maguire Ford of Canandaigua night. Even little Gio was getting speed secrets from his dad, Anthony Guerri, pre-race. Let's get right into the racing action here, as the very first feature of the night would see a first-time winner, as Lance Doucette and James Layton would lead the field to the opening green flag. 20 laps the distance here for the Mighty Boba 305 sprint cars, and the racing was hot and heavy early on, but it would be Timmy Lotz in the Papa's Place Pizzeria number 18 that would try to take the early lead, as Tucker Donath made big contact in turn number 4. That would be the end of Tucker's night in the 28 car, who's had a great season up at the Can-Am Speedway. Up front, Timmy Lotz would have to survive a one-lap dash to his first checkered flag at Canandaigua. They were 3 wide behind him, but Lotz would get the job done. He would be the first to the Roosters' double checkers on the front straightaway. In fact, Lotz didn't even know it was 1 lap to go. He thought there was 2 laps to go, but he held on to make the wing dance and celebrate with the crew.
Just try and stay calm and hit my marks and try and just capitalize, finish it off.
Okay. What made the difference tonight versus some other nights, do you think?
Dylan Paddock and his whole crew came over, helped us out. Our sponsors helped him out, put the whole thing together, and everything just came together.
What were you?
A new winner for the 305 sprint cars, with Ruggles still leading Perro and Timmy Lotz now in the top 3 in points. Lloyd's Contracting Hobby Stocks, another dandy of a finish. This was one of 4 out of 6 divisions on Saturday night that would see the winner come from the 9th place starting spot, as Blaine Smith and the big unit, Randy Johnson, would lead the field to green. But here comes the Bulldog with a late race charge on the outside lane, drives around point leader Mr. Smooth, and then would drive around the 90 of Nate Peckham as he gets an incredible run right through the middle of the racetrack in turns 3 and 4. Carrick would sneak by to get the race lead, coming to the Speed Connection 1 to go, and he would celebrate another victory and claim the Prouties bounty.
Oh, I didn't think I really had a shot. I mean, I knew maybe I could stay with him, but I didn't think I was going to get around Nate. Nate's he's pretty smooth, and it's just hard to get around him and Mark. You got to run a totally different line. There is no getting underneath them. They ain't going to give you no room at all.
Yeah. And then when Justin fell out, were you thinking you had a chance then because it was one less car in front of you?
No, because I was a little farther back behind Mark, and Mark was pulling away from me, and I thought I didn't have a chance at all to catch him.
Manutlo and Nate Peckham have not finished off the podium once in the hobby stocks in 2024. Sterling Lubricant Sportsman Nick Ventura, Kennedy Payne would bring the field to the initial green flag in this 25-lapper, as it was Frank Guerri Jr. in the 113, the Lions Engineering sponsored ride, who would sneak into the 3rd spot early on, have a little contact there, a little Code Brown moment there with the 51 of Lafleur, but then Guerri would waste no time taking the race lead away from Nick Ventura early on, just shy of 5 laps into the event. Guerri would have a late race restart where he would have to try to hold off Nick Root in the 30 car. Root found an opening on the bottom of turn 3. Little bit of contact racing there for the lead, but Root would be able to get by to take the race lead and the win.
I was watching the whole race. He'd enter 1 a little high and come down, and that's where I knew I had to be, and I could run the bottoms, so I just squeezed in there, and we were side by side going down the backstretch, and through 3 and 4 we touched doors a little, and I got the lead out of 4 and hit the bump, and I thought he was going to go back under me, and I about spun in 2, and thankfully we didn't spin, but this car was super good tonight.
Corcoran continues to lead the points. However, Nick Root now closes in on Zach Sabaka. Pepsi Big Block Modifieds, 30 laps the distance for their feature on this night. Justin Wright and the D-Train, Dalton Martin, would bring the field to the green, and I'll tell you what, Justin Wright was good early and often here in this 30-lapper as he would lead. Zach Payne was right there with him, the MP Delivery 7Z, but here comes Matt Williamson, who started 9th on the field, He was one of those drivers that came from the 9th starting spot, and Williamson would work over Payne and then find an opening here on Justin Wright. Coming to the speed connection, 1 to go. Williamson would officially clear him right there as Wright would leave 28 3/4 laps. Williamson gets his first checkered flag at Canandaigua in a big block.
Like I said, I didn't think I'd ever get here. This place, a lot of legends have won here at, and that's why they call it Land of Legends. And just nice to finally get the monkey off my back here, and hopefully we can start running better and better. We can build a notebook. It seems like all year we've wasted trying different things and just haven't got anywhere with it. So finally we got a win here.
Shepard and Williamson are in a very intriguing point race as we come to the midpoint of the summer. Eldridge and Son Scrap Recycling Street Stocks battle for the race lead, and Mr. Smooth may have to go to Image X this week as Mike Welch and Jimmy Grant about peeled the stickers off the side of the 25B, with Grant taking the race lead. Welch would close the gap in the final lap, but Grant would hold on to go 2 in a row for the second time this year.
I wasn't sure what was going on. I was just tiptoeing around. I wasn't sure where Mark was or if it was Welch. I don't look at the leaderboard, so.
It was Welch.
Yeah, well, I know. It was fun, you know what I mean? I know it was going to be a task to get to the front tonight starting back in the field, but, you know, that we made the right changes to the car. I guess we guessed good. And
That's right. We talked earlier about that.
Yeah. And I want to thank all my friends and family and everyone that comes to support me. You know, I wouldn't do it without these guys. And to park on the same night as Danny, that's awesome. I can't wait to park it on the same night as my nephew, Brighton. So.
It's a great point race behind the point leader inside the top 5 for the street stocks. And Chase Spoor would get his 3rd straight New Legend Sportsman win, brought to you by Maguire Ford of Canandaigua, as he would celebrate another victory.
Said it was, you really had to watch that right foot tonight. That was everything, was it?
Yeah, it was pretty crucial. When if you miss the bottom down here, you didn't want to do that because then you're spinning and you're sideways. And yeah.
Spoor has 3 wins in a row, but Kyle Ridley, who came from the back of the pack, now has 3 second-place finishes in a row. And that brings us to this week's Driver of the Week. And who could we pick but a first-time winner? And I'll tell you, it was a tough call between Timmy Lotz and Matt Williamson. But Timmy Lotz, first 305 sprint car win, and he gets it at the Land of Legends Raceway. A big celebration in Victory Lane. Timmy Lotz now will be in the running for our June Driver of the Month. That's this week's Raceway Recap. I'm Stephen Ovens.